Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Zupo's SEO Talk and Tea. Today's conversation is your Google My Business has been suspended. What to do next, right? This is something that I have dealt with many times, and I think that I've done it enough times now that I really want to just film a video because the amount of stress that I've experienced before with me alongside my clients is something that you're desperately looking for help. So I filmed this video to hopefully help those who are kind of in a similar position about what I do when my Google My Business is suspended. But before we begin, I want to introduce the tea we have today. Today we have a pu'er tea. I put it in this box. It's a pu'er cake, which is wrapped in here. I've shown it actually in other videos, but for the sake of time, I will kind of not open it up. It takes a couple seconds to do so. But let's go ahead and get on brewing and talking about your Google My Business suspension. So when it comes to Google My Business suspensions, usually, you know, there's different levels of Google My Business suspensions. But let's just talk about, what happens if you've been suspended. In another video, I will talk about the different types of suspensions. But generally, if you're suspended, you'll usually fall into two: soft or hard suspensions, where your listing has been affected. And so if you're in a soft suspension or hard suspension, it doesn't really matter. The issue is kind of the way that you would try to fix it is essentially very similar. So usually, if your Google My Business has been suspended or removed from Google, it can be a number of different things. And this is kind of what I do first off to kind of make sure that things are okay. Number one, I check the name of the Google My Business. Sometimes there's a naming conflict where even if the Google My Business has been okay for years, Google will sometimes do like a re-verification on their own, or they just check it on their own. And if they notice a naming difference, they might flag it, saying that. So, for example, if your business is called Pizza LLC, right? But then on your Google My Business, it's only called Pizza. They might flag it and say your name is different on your website and your marketing material and your Google My Business. They often want your name across the board the same. It doesn't, and I want to make very clear, it does not need to be your DBA. It is just whatever you use consistently across the board, and Google really skews it towards whatever your sign on the door says. Whatever your sign on the door, your signage on the door when people walk into your business, whatever that says is what the name that they want to go with. So unfortunately, if your signage has a name that you don't typically use that much, you're going to have to change the sign or use that name. So what I would kind of do then is check the name. Second, do you have a picture of your business and its signage on the Google My Business profile? I have had countless Google My Business listings have a soft suspension or suspended because they say we need a photo of your business and its signage so that we can verify that's real. But the frustrating thing is they don't tell you this. I'm telling you this because more often than not, when I figure out the issue, it's because they want that photo. I don't know what it is. I think it's sort of like I'm not even gonna make any comparisons. I'm just gonna say whenever they do a re-verification, if they spot anything weird, it's like automatically you need a photo with signage. So the second thing, if your Google My Business profile does not have a photo where you can see like the front of your business or a sign, and the front of your business needs to have a sign. Sometimes this can be the lobby, or if you're in a office building, it could be just the directory. But you just need some variation where your office and its signage can be seen so that they can verify it. That's number two. That is the most. That is usually the thing that solves it the most is that signage. So even if you're not sure, if you don't have a photo, just go take one really quick. Even if it's with your phone, go take it. Third, what I also check is the business information. So what I mean by that is your information accurate across the web and Google My Business? So this is kind of borders into citations, but the most important part is your website and the Google My Business. So I've actually had a case where a client redid their website and the phone number was written wrong. It was written one digit off, and all of a sudden our Google My Business was suspended. So in that case, the business information was inaccurate. That our website said a different phone number than the Google My Business. In that case, sometimes it's business information that can be incorrect. On another note, it could be your address, it could be your zip code, it could be anything, but just make sure that's accurate on the Google My Business and your website. Now I'm sure you're saying, hey Jason, I've done all this. Well, just keep kind of going down the steps. The next thing I would check is your about us, and then if you're listed any product or services, is there anything in there that sounds spammy or that you really have keyword stuff? Google does not really love that kind of thing. And then fifth, of course, is constantly every single day be reaching out to Google My Business support, letting them know the changes you make. Unfortunately, they usually will not tell you, but if you can jump on the phone with someone, usually that will help. When I jump on the phone with someone, I'll usually get a hint of what they're talking about, right? Of what, not what they're talking about, but they usually give me a hint of why it might be suspended. But so what I would do in summary is these are all the different things I might do. But the number one thing first, check the name. I know it sounds stupid, but sometimes the name's off. Usually it might be different where one's LLC and one does not. That might be the first case. Second, do you have a photo of signage of your business? You'd be surprised at how many people the issue was that they just didn't have signage. So if you're watching this video and you've never even been suspended, I would say just as a safeguard, go take that photo because sometimes Google is so really slow about reinstating you, and so sometimes it takes a week. No one wants to deal with that on a Google My Business level, so go ahead and just take that photo and upload on your site. Then check the information on your Google My Business. Is the business description, is the services on there, is the address, is the phone number all correct? And then fourth, again, contact Google almost if you can on a daily basis. Just keep checking up on them. Let them know what you've updated. Try to get reinstated. Give them a call. Ask them, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Can you please point me in the right direction? Often what I find is when I get someone on the phone and we make that personal connection, they will then help me. And so sometimes that's all it is. It's just persistence. Because unfortunately, Google My Business is so frustrating. They just don't tell you that what the issue is, and you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. Other things I would do, and this video is meant to be short, and these are just the kind of steps I immediately take. There are always cases and ones I faced before where I've done everything I just said and it's still suspended. That is the case when if you're contacting Google My Business Support and they're still not helping you, you want to go to the community. I used to go on this forum called Local Search Forum that I used to go all the time to. And there's some great people on there that would do a lot of help. It's for the people from Sterling Sky, and I think I forgot his real name, but it's Keezer Holiday. He's a user on the local search forum as well, in addition to the Google My Business support forums. They will help you as well. They can help point you in the right direction and trying to get your Google My Business listing fixed. And you know what? Actually, I just remembered one more. Sometimes if your Google My Business has multiple locations, there can be some conflicts there where if you have Google My Business locations in other places, sometimes they might flag it as duplicate, even though they're actual legitimate businesses. In that case, you do need to call Google, and each one of them needs to have signage as well to confirm that each one is real. Because a lot of people do try to scam the system and they create Google My Business listings everywhere, and then actually they're fake. So sometimes Google has pushed more for signage. So again, that reaffirms my second point. Take a photo of your business with signage so that you can confirm it's real. So again, I would say if all I talked about today isn't helping you, go to the local search forum, go to the Google My Business support forums, and you will find great help there. I have found great help there myself, and so if you can't figure it out on your own, it takes a little bit too much time, go there. There's a lot of great people that can help you there as well, and they're really in tune with the Google My Business support team. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Hopefully those steps will help you first diagnose what might be the issue. But again, these might not be everything. And if that's not the case, there are some other great resources you can find as well. I'm going to go ahead and pour out my pu'er tea. I didn't say it earlier, but this is like as close as you're going to get to black coffee in the tea section. So I love drinking this. It really gives me that kick I want. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. But if you guys found the video valuable, please like and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this tea. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks, everybody.